Okay, this is just a reminder video here to show you how to use a essay outline. I will be talking to you about it on Wednesday, but since I won't be here Thursday and Friday, I just wanted to make this video if you had to look back on it and you couldn't remember and you asked a classmate and they couldn't remember, you could possibly look back at this and get the answer that you're looking for. So this is the blank essay outline that I passed out on Wednesday to you guys. This is what it looks like without anything on it. Okay, so I want to walk through the process with you just like I did in class. I want to walk through it with you on this. Just in case you have any questions, you can answer it. So the first thing that you're going to be doing is putting in your thesis statement. Okay, so the thesis statement goes right here. You should already have this written. It can be a little different than the one that you had on your topic proposal, because you should be changing your thesis as you go to reflect the research that you have. But the thesis I'm going to be using for this example is, while increased technology certainly has had a positive effect on students' learning, schools should not completely abandon traditional teaching methods. Okay, so remember, this is my thesis, so it is my main argument, right? This is my entire paper crushed down into one sentence. Okay, so that is what the thesis is. So that's pretty straightforward. I don't think I need to spend a ton of time talking about that before I move on to the next one. So once you have your thesis written in, that's the first thing that you should do. You need to go through and write in your topic sentences. Okay, write in all three of them. Your topic sentences are your, what we like to call mini arguments, right? I've used that term on your topic proposal. These are what you're using to prove your thesis correct. And so you need to ask the question. Once you make your statement here, your thesis, okay, you need to sort of ask the question, why? Right? I'm trying to tell my audience that schools should not completely abandon traditional teaching methods. Right? I'm trying to convince them of that. I'm also trying to convince them that technology has had a positive effect on students' learning. Okay, these two things I need to prove with these topic sentences. Okay, so these topic sentences' main ideas, make sure when you write them in that they are answering this question of why. Right? Bear with me here while I draw these arrows. Right, these need to answer this question of why. So let's look at the topic sentences that I have in here now. Advances in technology have allowed teachers to enhance student learning. Does that answer the question of why anywhere in here? It does, right? The first part is I'm saying that it's had a positive effect on students' learning. So this paragraph here is going to sort of prove this part of my thesis. I'm going to talk about how, yes, technology isn't necessarily a bad thing. Okay, let's look at the next topic sentence. Not every student benefits from the increased use of technology. Okay, does that prove my thesis? So I look at it, schools should not completely abandon traditional teaching methods. Well, yeah, if everybody's not benefiting from it, right, they shouldn't completely abandon it. Right, so this one proves that part of my thesis. Let's look at the next topic sentence. In some cases, technology can actually hurt a student's learning experience. Well, that would be another reason why we shouldn't get rid of the traditional way of doing things, because some people actually get hurt by it. Okay, so if we look at it, each one of my topic sentences, okay, proves my thesis correct. Right, so that is the first step that you should, or second step, after you write the thesis in, okay, you should go through and write your three topic sentences, okay? Now I'm going to tell you again, I know I told you on Wednesday, you only have to have three topic sentences. Okay, the outline itself is going to have room for more. The reason I do that is, say you start writing this body paragraph here, you kind of screw up on it. Instead of starting a whole new outline, you can just cross this out and use one of the other blank ones. Another reason I have it are for students, older students come back in and they need to write longer papers, so I like to give them the same outline, right, and they can use the back side. Say they're writing, like a 4 to 5 page paper, then they can use the whole outline. But you only need to do this front side of it, okay? All right, let's move on to the next one now. So once you have your thesis and all your topic sentences done, okay, you're going to move on to the rest of it. these supports and your concluding sentence transition. What I like to do with this here is, so your topic sentence is your main idea. Remember, these prove your thesis correct. Well, these supports need to prove your topic sentence correct. Okay, I always use the analogy. I know I used it in class, but you guys have seen those little dolls that, so like this, say like this is the big doll. Yay, he's happy. And then you pull off this doll's head, and underneath it, right, you have this smaller doll. Hey, I'm happy. Right, and you rip off that one's head, then you even have a smaller one in there. Right, that's sort of what a paragraph is like. The farther that you get down, the more specific, the smaller it gets. So the thesis would be this big doll, the topic sentences would be this medium-sized doll, and your support sentences are the small doll. Altogether they make a great doll, okay, but you need to have all three pieces. So the topic sentence here is that advances in technology have allowed teachers to enhance student learning. That's my argument. That's my mini argument. I need to prove that to be correct. So here's how I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to give some examples of some commonly used technology in classes. I'm going to talk about personal devices like iPad computers. They allow people to access information easier. And then I'm going to put in a paraphrase here that's going to prove this to be correct. Okay. A couple things that I want to point out here that you need to know. First of all, if you look at these, right, these are short. These should not be more than 5 to 6 words. If you write complete sentences, okay, you will get points taken off, and I'll be very, 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 very upset. So I'm telling you this, and I told you this in class as well. These need to be short, 5 to 6 minutes, or 5 to 6 words. I'm sorry, no more. Do not write complete sentences. The topic sentence needs to be complete. Okay, but the rest of it does not. Okay, don't write your whole paper before you actually do it. This is just to collect your thoughts. Okay. See, like these are just personal devices, access to info. I used a little hyphen here just for my own way of doing it. One thing I want to point out, this, you need to put your source information into your outline. You can do it a number of different ways. I don't really care how you do it. Just when it comes time to writing your paper, you're going to look at this and you're going to expand this out into a sentence or two, expand this out into a sentence or two. And you're going to get to this paraphrase, and you should have enough information here to be able to go back into your research and find it. Like this is like the beginning of the article title. This is sort of like what the quote is about. I know that it's a paraphrase. From this, I should be able to find it no problem in my research. Okay? So that's all you really need to do here is just put enough so you can go back and find it in your research. Okay, but you need to put that in there. The last thing I want to talk about here is this concluding sentence transition. Okay, so what this does is that it wraps up this paragraph and introduces this paragraph. The whole reason for this, and again, I know I use this analogy in school or in class, but I want to use it again. It's like the driver that goes from a green light, going super fast, we're having fun, and then slams on the brake to the red light, and then hits the green light again, slams on it. You don't want to do that in your paragraphs. They need to flow nicely. So that's what concluding sentences do, is they help the flow of your paper. So they wrap up this one, and then they introduce this one. So this is sort of like, you shouldn't do this, right? But this is like how people roll through stop signs. Right? Instead of coming to a complete stop and going, they just roll through it. That's what the concluding sentence transition does. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, helps you roll through it, makes a nice smooth ride. So like with anything in life, too much of a good thing can be bad. Let me show you how I did this here. So a good thing, right? That talks about how in this paragraph I was saying that, yeah, technology isn't bad. But too much of it can be bad, which is the idea that I'm going to talk about in this paragraph. So this works as a nice transition between the two. So let's look at this next one. Let's see what else I have on here to show you. Oh, let me go ahead and delete that for you. All right. So what I have here, this is just another support. Okay, you can look through it. I'm not going to go over it in depth because I already did this one here, but this topic sentence, goes up to the thesis. I already explained that. And all of these supports go up to the topic sentence, or my mini argument. Okay, so this works the exact same thing, the exact same way. One thing too I also want to point out here is that under the supports, you don't have to just put one little thing. If you want to put two of them in there, you can. Right? There's really no rules here that dictate it. Just don't write out complete sentences, okay? Do not write out complete sentences. So for your paper here, I just want to remind you, I told you today in class, but I want to tell you again, right? It's going to be 5 paragraphs. Okay, one will be an intro, one will be a conclusion, and then you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. We're only worrying about these body paragraphs right now. Okay, next week when it actually comes time to writing our paper, I'm going to go over I'll go over how to do the introduction and conclusion. So we're only focusing on these 3 right now. In your paper, you need to have 4 pieces of source info. Okay, you need to have 4 of them in there. And you need to have 1 of each. So you need to have 1 quote, 1 paraphrase, and 1 summary. Right? So if you do some simple math here, right? So you have 1 that's not accounted for. It can be anything. Okay, 1 of each. Then I'll just put 1 wild card. Doesn't matter. It could be another quote. It could be another paraphrase. It could be another summary. I don't really care. You just need to have it in there. Okay. So 4 overall, 1 of each, and then 1 wild card. Put a little line here. You need to have a minimum of 3 different sources. Okay. 3 different sources. Which again, let's do the math here. You need to have 4 overall, so you could have 1, 2, 3, and then where you're going to get the 4th one, it can be from the same source. It does not have to be, so really you could pull 2 from the same source if you wanted to. You don't have to. You could have 4 different sources if you'd like, but it's a minimum of 3 different sources, okay? So you have to have 3 different ones. So in your works cited, you're going to have 3. Let's see here. I think that is about it. Now, I know I went over this with you guys in class, and you've probably heard all these and all my stupid, corny jokes and analogies. But since I won't be in class on Thursday and Friday, and you have to have your outline done for Monday, this will just be a nice review. You can look back at it any time, fast forward, whatever you need to do to understand it, okay? I hope this was helpful, and you need to have your outline done for Monday. Be ready to go because we're actually going to start typing on Monday. All right.